Yo, what's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 for the week. We've got Swordsoul Tenyi on the left versus Adventurer Dragon Link on the right. My friend Colin on the left, my friend Phil on the right. Yeah. Also, there should, by the time this video goes up, there should also be, I know people want to see the 5v5 matches. The whole VOD's on Twitch right now on my Twitch page, but I will be uploading them separately, each match. It's just a lot of footage to go through, and some of the matches are very long, so it's taking a little extra longer to get to it. But round 1 should be up by the time this one, or should be after this one goes up. So be on the lookout for that. But we are going to see Swordsoul win the die roll here. Opening hand looks to be Longyun Vishuda. Longyun Vishuda, Vessel, Ash, and something else. Might be double Vishuda, actually. So double Vishuda, Vessel, Longyun, Ash. Double Vishuda, Longyun, Vessel. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good opening. Seeing Vessel Tenyi is always very, very strong. Also seeing a copy of a Draco Masters of the Tenyi in the extra deck. That was a card that when I was playing Swordsoul, I always kind of thought about playing. I looked into possibly playing the Link 4 Tenyi. Sahasrara, however it's pronounced. Very wild name. But Draco Masters always seem cool because late game that card can be a pop 3 if you have all of your monks in grave, and it's like a 2600 beater too, so it can get over token collector too, which is really nice, and can pop it if it summons itself back later. Pretty interesting card. So very excited to see it here in the extra deck. Who knows if it will come up? It's in that extra deck slot that Swordsoul has. It's that free slot that could be anything, and it's that slot that comes up like once in maybe 50 games. Like Swordsoul has 14 cards in their extra deck that are set in stone, and there's always like seemingly that one spot that can be pretty much anything. It's just, whatever. I feel like whatever is going to solve the deck's biggest problems the most, which I feel like at the end of the day is collector, because like Nibiru can be played around, every other hand trap can be played around for the most part, and D-barrier is just D-barrier, so like collector is a hell of a card. But yeah, so we're gonna see him go into a Chizhou using the Vishuda and the Adhara, classic Tenyi Vessel line. We'll see him go ahead and look to possibly add the black out there, but going for the Moyi instead. Has not committed the normal summon yet. We're gonna see him activate Adhara, add back the Ashina. So he can give his opponent no extra information here if he doesn't have to, right? So he knows he just added back the Ashina to hand. So revealing it off Moyi, you might as well not even have revealed anything because that was already knowledge that his opponent already had. So this will go ahead and resolve. He's going to go ahead and Synchro 8 here. Probably into Berserker. And this is always like a weird thing I remember encountering in Swordsoul. This is like... anytime you started Vessel Tenyi and you didn't go for a Chao Feng line, you make Chizhou first with the Tenyis, or you could make Berserker first if you really wanted to play around Collector, but game 1 who's really trying to play around Collector, right? I think it's fair to assume that you don't really have to play around Collector game 1, so you don't have to make the Berserker first. But yeah, that second Synchro 8 sometimes feels very, very weak. Especially if you already use Moyi. You don't really need to go into Aboxia if you don't have to. It's just kind of using extra resources. Berserker is a pretty good card. You get a lot of free options there, especially if you aren't worm locked. You could make Dragite, or Crimson Blade, but again, those cards really come up because at the point you're doing a play like this, you're worm locked. So, and see possibly devoting that extra deck slot to a link such as Draco Masters to be making a lot more sense. So we will see him go for the Qixing, and yeah, not respecting the Nibiru game 1. It's something you can definitely get away with sometimes, but other times not. It's honestly like, I want to say 50-50. I mean, had there not been a Nibiru, that end board probably was going to result in game. Yeah, I mean, against the Adventure engine, especially Qixing just answers that entire engine on its own. Banish Token, Banish Fateful, and then they pretty much are down 2,400 life points and nothing to show for it. Yeah, so Nib plus right plus a dragon is pretty strong. Yeah, that's rough. And honestly, I could see this being game here, if I'm being totally honest. It depends on what the last couple of cards in our Dragon Link player's hand are. Of course, removing this massive token at this point is going to be extremely easy. I mean, it's only actually because Berserker has 0 defense, and Chi Jiao has 1,000 defense, and I think Monk that was on board obviously has no defense. So it's literally just Qi Xing's defense plus Chi Jiao's defense, which I think is about 3,300 total defense. Especially if we're attributing a massive board of synchro monsters, you think the defense stats would be higher. The attack stats are probably through the roof. 3k, 28, 29, and 1,000. You do the math. You know, it's a pretty big token attack-wise, but of course it is in defense. And you know, even if it was too big for his engine to worry about, which I mean, a deck like Dragon Link's not going to have any problems worrying about getting over a token, especially with all the extra deck utility and removal that it has. So he will use just the free bounce from Draco back here to hit the set, which I think was unknown because we know he didn't search Blackout. So yeah, bouncing that back to the hand. We're gonna see him activate Souls. Souls will send 2, and that is going to get ashed, I believe. No, he might have ashed the Fateful effect to search. I'm not exactly sure what was ashed there. I might have missed that. It might have been the Striker Dragon, honestly, to search Boot Sector, but I already see Boot Sector in hand. I was looking on the left side of the field there to see what was in our Swordsoul player's hand, and I missed that. But Ash getting used on something, and looks like it will not matter, and he's just going to go to Helk, and yeah, that's just going to be game, because access code plus Nib is just game on its own, right? Because, you know, Unicorn, Jet Synchron, all that good stuff. So, or even just Selene access code, don't even really need Jet Synchron. So we're going to see Swordsoul kind of get demolished there in game 1, just on the hands of an Nibiru, and we're going to see him go to game 2. Quick shout out to Imperium Duelist and TCG Player. Check out the links I have to the sites down in the description. Don't forget to use my discount code at Imperium. Don't forget to use my affiliate link at TCG Player. All those ways to support the channel definitely help out a ton. So we're going to see our Swordsoul player here start with the Adhara, then into Longyan, pitch Longyan. This is going to help play around Collector here, and also helps to play around Nibiru. And you kind of quickly learn what hand traps your opponent does have and doesn't have when you do a line like this. Obviously, if they have Collector, they're probably going to use it there. I mean, odds are they could hold it for later in the combo, but then again, Baron's already up at this point. So a Collector attempt later on might just be useless, so you kind of got to go for it there, even though they have set up for the Yazi play to play around it and beat the Collector and continue to extend past it. So Ecclesia will resolve here, and now it's turned in one of those pivotal moments where the opponent is going to need double hand trap to out the board. Ecclesia obviously successfully tagging to Moyi, Moyi revealing Blackout, and then going for Chainlink 2 Chi Jiao, Chainlink 1 Moyi, and I think this makes a lot of sense at this point, especially since if the opponent had Ash, they would have definitely tried to have Ash the Ecclesia. There's literally no reason not to Ash the Ecclesia, and this also allows the Swordsoul player to deck them before they draw. I remember when I was playing Swordsoul, anytime I did Chi Jiao to Moyi 1, people are always very confused, you know, why don't you want to chain block the Chi Jiao? It's like, well, what am I trying to chain block it from, right? Am I trying to chain block it from, you know, Ash, when I already can assume that you don't have Ash because you didn't Ash the Desires, you didn't Ash an Ecclesia, you didn't Ash an Emergence. These are all signs, or you didn't Ash a Circle or a Vessel. These are all signs that give me, you know, information that you probably don't have Ash, so I can just go ahead and deck then a card out of my deck and search, or before I draw. But we're gonna see just absolutely bad luck here for my friend Colin. My friend Phil just has the answers. He's got Nib plus Gamma, which is arguably, like, I want to say the best 2-card hand trap combo you could possibly have in the game right now. Not only do you have the looming threat that Nibiru is when it comes to just board clearing and demanding an answer, but you also have Gamma to back it up, which pretty much stops anything, and it also destroys the card that it negates. So just 2 cards trading for the entire field. Blackout, being the set card here, we can only assume. Getting it in the graveyard at this point might do more good, just because a top deck Taya is more valuable. He also has the Emergence in hand, which is now more viable to go get, you know, like Taya, banish the Blackout, get double token in rotation, be able to make more plays. But we're gonna see the Illusion into the Striker Dragon with the Rocket Tracer, like opening pretty fantastic here. Now the only thing our Dragon Link player has to try and do is just Selene access code, because you've already got a 3k body on field. Hardly feels fair at this point, how incredibly well our Dragon Link player here has opened. Playing through this Swordsoul board, both games 1 and 2 with little to no struggle. We're going to see him link into Romulus. Romulus is going to go ahead and fetch out the Dragon Ravine from the deck to the hand. Get more rocket cards in rotation. He also had a copy of Dark Ruler in hand too, so like this man's was strapped regardless. So he is going to go ahead and use Illusion now, or use the Magician Souls rather now to go ahead and dump the Illusion from the deck to the grave, and now can go ahead and get rid of 2 basically, I don't want to say dead cards, but 2 less valuable cards for attempts to see more valuable cards. And he does draw into Rite of Aramesir, which honestly is probably just, that just honestly seals it right there. Our Swordsoul player just has the Taya and the Vishuddha in hand, so maybe he didn't search the Emergence. He might have just directly searched the Taya. Yeah, and that beautiful custom adventure token. I know people are going to ask me where they got the token from. I don't know. Like one of my friends, my friend Kevin, found a page on Instagram that does custom tokens, and if he watches this video and he can plug the Instagram, feel free to. I'm in the process of trying to get a custom token through him, through them, because I think he has a contact, but I don't know. Very, very cool token, and really shocking that Konami has, I don't want to say refused, but just has chosen not to give us a Swordsoul token and an Adventurer token in the most recent OTS 19. Definitely a very laughable decision, and they gave us a Slime token, and the other token, I couldn't even tell you what it is, just because of how lackluster it is. We're going to see our Dragon Link player pay half there to go ahead and go into the Destrudo, into the Halqifibrax, and, you know, you already have access code. And you also have Draco back, and our Swordsoul player is just going to see the writing on the wall there and go ahead and scoop it up. So yeah, it was the blackout set that we knew he had in hand that he revealed off Moe. And we're going to see Dragon Link take a very swift 2-0 win there over Swordsoul Tenny. This matchup definitely could have gone the other way had he not had the right hand traps, but he just had them both games. So yeah, if you guys want to see more of my content, check out one of the videos on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a huge thank you goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Tweeter0226, Pony Stark, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, and HTH Cyber. Thank you guys so much as always for showing me kind and generous support of the channel.